Okay, I've got the water shut off. Haven't touched this yet. Let's see. Okay, we got her off. Okay, and funny thing, this house was built a little over 20 years ago, and I noticed it's got the plastic piping in the back. It's not copper piping. That one's white, and this one happens to be red. You can't really see it, but it makes these pipes kind of tinny and flimsy from the wall. So I gotta prepare myself for that. So before I undo this nut here, I want to make sure I kind of hold on to that with my hand nice and firm before I get there. And sometimes it makes it easier just to undo the handle, and that way you can get your wrench in there nice and easy, and then you just pull that out. You can remember which direction that goes, like that, or it can be straight up and down or whatever. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to take those off. Okay, just the one screw, and then this just slides off a little spline, and just so that those are out of the way. I've got those off nice and snug. Got this tight in there. Okay, the extension cord for the garbage disposal, and I'm all set to go. I don't think I need to undo the trap or anything. I can get in there on the right side or the left side if I need to, and I think I'm good to go. And I'll put my construction light just off to the side, you know. And I liked the idea that my cousin said she just put a pillow in a plastic bag. That way I can kind of put it in there. It's going to be a little awkward to get on it and get finagled on there, but it might be a little bit more comfortable. If not, in fact, she's got a couple extra knee pads like this. I got this one from my mom's place, and then I can put that in there, lean on that, and then if I want one down here, I can lean on that. So I don't know if I'm actually going to use that, but I kind of like the idea. I've got some rags here in case I need them, and that. So, okay, is there anything I've shown you so far that you don't think you can do yourself? I don't think so. I think you can do this by Joe. Okay, I got those off. See, there's just splines on the inside of that. The hot and cold, okay, they should be the same. All right, so now I'm going to shimmy back there, and then I'm going to turn this back on after I get under there on my back, so I can shine it up there to see how we're going to disconnect this. Are all sink faucets created the same? Not really. You just got to cross your fingers and hope that you got one that don't have rusty parts up there and a nut that you can't get to properly with all your tools you got. Because here it is. This is what I've got. I've got that. I've got a couple tools in there and a crescent wrench and a couple other things. I've got these tools. That's all I got. I'm not going to the store. I'm not going to the store. I'm getting it done with the tools that I have. Okay. Now bear with me. I'm trying to hold the light in one hand and the video camera, and I'm not joking. I barely got under here. I've got the trap right at my throat, and I'm hoping to be able to do this. But there's one nut up there, and it looks like that's all I have to undo. That one nut. Unscrew this. Take that off. That nut, and then there's a nut all the way up there off of a washer that's holding that, and that's it. And it happens to be a 3-hole sink. In the 3-hole sink, you see that hole? There's a hole there, then there's a hole where the plumbing pipes come through, and then there's another hole over there, and then you've got the air gap. So that's a 4-hole sink. And so we know we're going to have to put the base on in order to cover those other holes, okay, after we pull it apart. Okay, so obviously I can't show you this next part because I'm under here, and I'm going to undo that black nut there, get this out of the way, and then I'm going to have to, there's a quick disconnect on that, somehow to get that off, and take that other nut off, and then I should be able to pull everything up. And that's also I have to undo these. Remember, I got to undo those. That's the hot water side. And with just a little crescent wrench, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. As you're looking at that, you look at that, and the nut is going to go from here that way. That's left. Same thing with the other one over here. Okay, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. I'm going to hold on to that with the palm of my hand too as I'm undoing that, and it should come off nice and fine. These are, like I said, these are plastic lines, water lines, and they're flexible enough. Just be careful of that. And see on this, see this neck of the valves is plastic. Most of them are plastic. I hate that. Why do they do that? And if your faucet is older than 20 years old, this could be really stiff plastic, and as you turn the handle, try to turn it off or try to turn it back on, it could snap off. I've seen that happen. If you ever have to do that, I would get a different valve that just is a quarter turn on, quarter turn off. It's almost kind of like a gas valve, but it's designed for water. I've installed those. Those are pretty slick. Okay, so I got to shimmy under here again and get this thing disconnected. That cracks me up. Who even uses a pipe wrench nowadays for anything like this? Probably nobody. But this could come in handy for certain things, but probably not underneath the sink. And there's some vice grips. What other things might I use? Here we go. Got a pair of pliers. Here's another set of vice grips I just happen to have. Here's a smaller one. This one could come in handy. This could be my tool. Here's another set of vice grips with the tip. That might be the tool that I need today. Here's a couple crescent wrench. Usually I carry kind of a small crescent wrench too, and I'm not sure if I have another size, but I can use those, and I don't think I have a smaller one in there. I should remember that. Note to self, get a small little crescent wrench. I use that thing all the time at home at the other one I have. And then here's the plumbing. Here's the plumbing one. See? You can turn that, and then this thing swivels both directions and opens up. And then you've got that down there. I might use that for that top nut. It just depends. And I've used every single one of these things before. I used to also have another pair of vice grips. Actually, I have them at home. Look just like this, except a big pair like that. And I've used those before too, for a sink, faucet, to replace the valve cartridge inside a sink faucet handle. And if I didn't have a pair of those, I wouldn't have been able to do the job. Okay, so certain things like that, yes, you're going to have to invest in a few tools, but here's a good thing. When you start doing stuff on your own, you can start investing in bits and pieces of tools, because now you're not having to pay a professional to do stuff. Here, if you save $350 for your labor, or $300 for labor, maybe you need $45 worth of tools, and now it costs you $45 to install this. Do you see what I'm saying? But yet you save that additional money because you didn't have to pay somebody to do that, and you've got all these things for your next project and your next project and your next project. They don't have to be plumbing projects. They can be whatever. Now you've got a few tools. Now you got a few things here. Now you've got a drill. Now you've got an extension cord. Now you got a hacksaw. Now you got a nail bag. Now you got a hammer. Now you got this stuff here. You see what I mean? You start accumulating stuff as you go, because why? You're saving money by doing it yourself. Oh, that's funny too. It cracks me up too. Just because you're doing it yourself, don't forget, there's always going to be times you're going to learn things along the way. There's always certain things that, had you done it a different way, you wouldn't have messed up, you wouldn't have done this, and it wouldn't cost you this stuff here. And if you would have only known not to touch that and tighten that up and not tighten it up too tight and this, that, and the other thing, and use Teflon tape or not use Teflon tape, And you learn all those types of things as you go along. You're going to learn as you go, not everything that you've done. The very first time I did something, did I do it exactly like a professional plumber? No. Here's the 15th one that I'm doing. Am I going to do it exactly like a professional plumber? Maybe not. But you start learning bits and pieces. There's only going to be so much that you're going to learn reading out of a book. There's only going to be so much you're going to learn watching my videos. Only so much you're going to learn by watching somebody else's videos. Only so much you're going to learn by watching a professional plumber videos, if you can find them. Okay? Only so much you're going to learn on anything until you go out there, get your hands dirty, and get on with it, and start learning by doing. That's just how it works.